And also, due to the profession in aviation, they work, in remote places. They, had to maintain your circle because you've got odd hours. It's not your working hours. So, and you end up going to the pub because there is nothing else to do, for example. And there are a lot of depression. There's a lot of alcoholism for
PTSD.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder. That's more if people have had a stressful, something they couldn't recover from experience, post-traumatic stress disorder. So that would be from the wartime, or surgeons could have that. Emergency personnel who are doing emergency. So that is it's very. Very big problem, PTSD. I mean, it's not necessarily related to pilots, because it's unless they had an accident that they had to then fly from, or a personal traumatic situation.
Well, there's so many stories, famous stories of pilots, commercial airline pilots, falling into drug abuse and alcoholism and things like this.
Yes. Yeah. It's because they don't have, well, not always, but they may not have, let's say, if they're not actively doing this. Because, if we're in our life, if we're balanced in our, social, personal, physical, emotional, intellectual belief system and values, if we're not touching all of that from time to time, holistically, then something will get out of balance. It's sort of like you have to, it's like a riding, a wave. You need to be, once you've got a calm moment, you need to, go dive under the water, enjoy the scenery, go up, enjoy the sun. When it's stormy, keep it steady.
Right. How could you have that? How could you have that balance when your job is to fly all over the country or all over the world every single day and be so detached from, if you do have a significant other or children or anything like this, that's going to be a huge strain on you.
Well, it's the case in few professions, including, people who work 24/7, their schedule. Sometimes they have night shifts or extraordinary type of environment that seems normal to them. I mean, we choose it, but we don't know what that means later in life. Like we could choose to be a surgeon, we could choose to be a pilot, we could choose to be an emergency, nurse or something like that. But you don't know what comes with the job. It only then, when you're already in the job.
And the crazy thing is, people will pick these or decide which one of these dreams to follow early on in life, strictly on looking at it through the lens of money.
Yeah.
And you're right, like what career is going to earn me the most money or the most success or the most fame? And they don't consider any of these other things that could send you down a psychological black hole spiral.
Yes. Well, I think in the outright, the humanity is optimistic, in the outlook. So we see only what we can imagine right now, or what the picture is being painted, and we're very trustful. So touching these 2 points about the, depression that you mentioned, and also, choosing the professions or what we are expected to do, what we need to do. So depression is actually an epidemic. It's a big problem, not just for pilots or, other professions, but the World Health Organization it has very, very sad numbers if we look it up. And it's something like 250,000 diagnosed every year. And so there are millions of people who are that, but they're also parents. These people, so can you imagine their children are suffering from what state is the parent is.
Right.
But in the UK and in the US, similar numbers. The women and fathers and mothers of newborn children suffer from postnatal depression, both.
Really?
Yeah, 45 to 50%.
I've never heard of the father suffering from that.
Yes, so there's both, because the life changes so much, and it's an expectation. Sometimes people feel, oh, well, that's what motherhood or fatherhood is.
Right.
So, and especially in men, it would be hard to admit, because it's not admitted otherwise, so it's not known in public, right? So you're meant to be coping well. Like you're a father, you're a man, you're a holder of the family. I don't know, like whatever we have put onto ourselves, the expectations that we meant to be a certain way.
Right. Well, yeah, it's like if you're raising a kid and you're stressed and you're sleep deprived and you're going crazy,
Yeah.
like, what are you going to do? Are you going to quit on your kid?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to fight through it? Like, it's the same thing. Like, the kid learning to walk. Well, my kid's taking too long. He's crawling, but he's not walking. Are we just going to give up and decide, oh, he's never going to walk? It's like one of those things where you just like, it's a weird thing where you have no choice but to figure it out, I feel like.
Yes.
If you're a parent.
Yeah. But that's interesting, isn't it? That almost like a different type of schooling that comes to you with children.
Yeah.
If finding out who you are, what you're capable of, and what your partnership, what you are as a team. And
what is this?
Yeah,
In the United States, approximately 21 million adults experience at least one major depressive episode per year.
Could you imagine 20 million? So
well, I feel like again,
280 million, and this is diagnosed.
I would imagine. Oh, this is diagnosed.
Yeah.
So 21 million. I mean, I experience depressive episodes all the time. Not all the time, but per year. But it's like life is a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And you're the chemicals in your body, the hormones in your body are constantly fluctuating all the time, depending on your diet, your sleep, your work, if you're traveling or not. There's so many factors that go into this.
The youth is terrifying because the bigger problem in youth is that it's one of the major causes of suicide.
I have this thing that happens to me almost every year where when the winter starts, I have this unexplainable sadness for like a day or two. I'll tell my wife, I'm like, I don't know what it is. I feel sad today.
But it's good that you're aware.
There's no reason. I can't come up with any external influences that could be contributing to that. But it happens to me every once in a while. And I don't know what to do about it, but it eventually subsides. And I'll do something and I'll figure out a way to like either go for some crazy long run or work out and stress my body until I can't think about it anymore. And eventually it goes away.
Well, that's good. So the biggest part is to recognize it and articulate it. And often we're told that it's not appropriate, to think that you have that ability, you have that feeling or you have that sensation to articulate because it's not accepted in the circles, like depending on where you work. So, let's say surgeons or pilots, they have to just show up to work. And as a parent, you just have to show up, every morning, right? Or every night, whatever hour, of the 24 hours you'll get to be pulled on the spot, you have to show up, right? So, and I find that this having the tools to cope with it. So in space psychology, coming to the topic of the very beginning, is the most important part is prevention. Because if we are packing for Mars, we cannot take all the medications with us, right? We cannot have, pack the aircraft with all possible medical aid. So you have to work for absolute prevention ahead of time. So, and usually you'd find that people like pilots, like surgeons, like astronauts, cosmonauts, they are very highly motivated people. They will always be ahead of the game, ahead of their, what is happening with them, just like what you're describing. I just realize, okay, what am I going to do about it? So you have a tool set. So you said, I'll go for a run or, I don't know, take it easy for the day or maybe find what has motivated me before, look what it is about and I can't find it. Okay, so I feel it. Okay, I got it. I've registered. It's okay. I know I have passed this before. What I have done that helped me, for example, to overcome. But also, until you went through that symptom, you can't recognize it in other people.
Right.
You can't articulate it to other people. And often those people cannot articulate it to themselves as well. They see something odd, but they feel out of place, but they don't know how to work with that or what language to use. And that's what telepathy helps.